You know what I would like? Better light. Hello and welcome to the Babbles Travelling Yarns podcast. You are seeing me. Who am I? Grace. I am Vanna Willamille on Instagram, on Ravelry and various other platforms. I'm also Babbles Yarns on Instagram. I'm Babbles Yarns on Twitter and on Facebook as well. Babbles Yarns. Yes, all the details can be found down below if you want to find me. So Babbles Yarns is my indie dyeing company, and Vanna Willamille is my personal account, which is kind of my account for the podcast and various silly things in my life, which is mainly cats right now, but that's fine. So, hello. How are ya? I am on the red lipstick again because I love the way I look with the red lipstick. I have no other makeup on, and that's fine. Slow start this morning. I promised myself I would get up really early and then, you know, do all the things, but I did not do all the things or any of the things yet. Apart from this podcast. I am doing this podcast. This was one of the things. Okay, it is Sunday the 28th of January. Don't shoot me if I get that wrong. It doesn't really matter. I am an Irish girl. I'm living in Limerick in Ireland at the moment, and I knit, I spin, I weave, I dye, I love all the things to do with the fibres and the world and all of that. So I'm upstairs today and the light is really challenging me today. Downstairs in my craft room with all of my pretty yarn, it was just like a cave. In Ireland around this time of year in January, we generally get cloud cover like 90% of the time. Today the clouds are probably about 70%, so it's kind of dark. So I'm at the top of my house to try and capture in front of the biggest light. Yeah, so that's nice. You've got my boyfriend's side over there. What's that thing in the corner? I don't even know. Don't ask me these hard questions. Right, so I've got loads of things to talk to you about today, but we'll start off with the knitting, I think. And then we'll move on to some topics, some events that I'm going to and what I want to go to, but I can't this weekend. But I might let you know about it in case you're close by. And that's going on in Waterford, so stay tuned for that. I had written it down. Here's my show notes. I have a really good book review. Well, I think it's a really good book review. It's a really good book, so hopefully the review will be as good. I'm also going to answer a question, an Ask Me Anything question. I have a thread over in my Ravelry group for the podcast. It's Babbles Travelling Yarns podcast, and there's an Ask Me Anything thread in there. If you want to ask any questions, please feel free. I generally get around to them. So I have I'm going to talk about 3 projects that I'm knitting. I'm going to talk about 2 events that are happening. 2 events. I'm going to talk about my Ask Me Anything question, which is all about buying your first spinning wheel. And I'm also going to talk about some special things which are coming to the shop, which I've just been designing. And also the phenomenon of yarn graveyards. But first, let's talk about the knitting. So I've been knitting on pretty monogamously on my mix and match sweater. I'm just getting all the crap out of the way, sorry. So this is my mix and match sweater. It is in my Cottage number 9 sweater bag, Christmas sweater bag, which translates to like all the other sweater bags. I've got a little tag on it to say that it's a sweater. This is a Knitting I Love tag. And look at the back, it's got a little picture of a sweater. It's so cute. I've got some stitch markers on here. This is from Mrs. U Makes, beautiful piece of agate. Now, I've got my notions pouch, which I found in my last video, full of my favorite notions. And I've got my sweater. So the yarn is dyed by me. It's Babbles Travelling Yarns, or Babbles Yarns ombre kit, ombre sweater kit. It is, this one is 8 or 9 balls. I should really know. It's 9 balls of Aran weight yarn. It's Masham and BFL, and I dyed it in this beautiful burgundy fade ombre. And I finished the body, and I am flying on the sleeves. Now this is flying because I am doing 2 at a time sleeves. So it's like doing 2 at a time socks, but just 2 at a time sleeves. So I picked up the sleeves last weekend. Yeah, after I filmed last weekend's podcast, I really did pick up the sleeves, and I knit this many's. This many's. Oh, I don't know why this one seems darker than the other one. I have been knitting, like literally this line looks a little bit. So what I've been doing with, what I did with the body was I faded in over about 6 rows. I did 1 row, then 2 rows, then 2 rows, then 2 rows, then straight in, you know, so I faded in over about 6 rows, and it gave this really nice ombre feel. But for the sleeves, I'm already working with the inside and the outside of the ball, so I didn't want to add another 2 strands to the tangle, so I would be working with 4 strands, but it's working fine. I think it's working just fine. I think I made a boo-boo. I think this color should have been on there, but I'm on a bit of a deadline, so I'm not going to switch it up. It's fine. I don't care. It's pretty, but it would have faded a bit better. When you're doing a gradient, tag your balls. 1, 2, 3, like, but just number them. Number the yarns, and then you won't make that mistake. But you know, whatever. So yesterday I was meaning to do like 13 inches this week, but I only got about this far down the sleeves. I was just super busy. I had a sale on Sunday. Thank you so much to everybody that supported me. That was fantastic. I have 1 more parcel to go out on Monday because she just ordered it on Friday. And yesterday I had a course. I went to a course in Galway, and it was for my job. I'm a radiographer, which means I take x-rays, do CT scans, that sort of thing. So I had a course, so myself and my friend went up, and she did all the driving. Thank you, Susan. And I knit all this much. I was sitting knitting. It took like an hour to get up to Galway on the new motorway. The new motorway is amazing, by the way. It's just opened up. It's amazing. It cuts like 20 minutes off the drive. So we went up to Galway University, and there was a really, really good talk on stroke CT and MRI. And I was knitting all the way through that, which was really, really good, because the desks are super high, so I was able to knit behind it. But you know, I'm paying attention as well, so I'm like, oh, all you university students who can knit in class, jealous, because I got so much done. Honestly, this job malarkey is getting in the way of my hobbies. Rude. Now, so oh, I just wanted to say, so the major thing that I took out of the course is that the delay in diagnosing stroke is because people don't really know what to look for. So I'm just going to do a little public service announcement for anyone that does come across this. If anyone has not heard of FAST, so it is an acronym for face, arms, speech, and time. So if you see someone and their face is dropped, so they've got like no use out of the face, if they can bring their arms out in front of them, if they're not feeling well and you can see a face is dropped and they've lost a bit of weakness, get them to pop their arms out in front of them, close their eyes, and if one of them starts drooping down, that's a sign. If they've got slurred speech, if they're disoriented, that's a sign. Call the ambulance immediately. Get them to hospital. Every minute that you waste dithering whether you call the ambulance or not, that is effectively 1 week of the person's life that they are losing. It's super important. The FAST rule: face, arms, slurred speech, call the ambulance now. Okay. We had a really interesting patient that came and talked to us about his whole experience, and it was really just really moving, because I do a lot of on-call work, which means that I'm at home and I get called in if there is some emergency, and a lot of the time it is query stroke. So I have to get in as soon as I can, because time is brain. Quick, get it done. Call the ambulance, get into hospital. Doesn't matter if it's a fake one, just get them in. Deal? Deal. Okay. Because they did say public awareness is like the biggest savior for people and their quality of life after having a stroke. So, public service announcement, it's my duty to let you know about that. And if you did know about that, act on it. Okay. If you ever see it, hopefully you don't, but you know what to look out for now. Yay! Now, where was I? Oh yeah, I got all this done during the talk, so that's great. So it's coming on nicely. I'm just going to try it on. Now, I don't know if I'm doing the arm decreases right. I kind of got distracted by the talks. Sorry, Mina. So I'm supposed to have this done by the 31st of January. Oh gosh, this is not going to work at all. Wait, if I bring this around to the front, maybe that'll work, maybe. And I put it on over my head. If anyone's been watching since my Tasmania videos where I did the drift sweater, this position will be very familiar to you. But at least this is a cardigan, so it's a bit easier. A little bit. Mom! Don't drop any stitches while you're trying the garment. Oh God. Settle. See? I have to... Okay, I'm just gonna chill out here now. So there it is! Oh, it's sitting perfectly. Yay me! So I've got a couple more decreases to go. It's kind of an oversized, kind of comfy garment, comfy cardigan, which I'm test knitting for Mina. It's called the Mix and Match Sweater, the Mix and Match cardigan. And I have chosen to do a stockinette body. There is an option for a pattern body, which Opera Joe's doing, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I'm doing the shawl collar, hopefully, if I can get around to it. And I did the high-low hem. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to take this off. Sorry, guys. Huh. My other cardi, it's a bit cold. It is, you know, January. Ooh, that's nice here. So I did the high-low hem, just to give it a bit of length behind. So if you see, what's a good way to show that? Oh, the ombre is nice on that. So if you see the way it's dropping there, so it's quite, it's shorter in the top and then it gets kind of long at the back. Prow! Prow! A kitty wants to come in. I'm working away on that. Hopefully I'm gonna have the sleeves finished. I think I might sit down and do it today, try and push through, and then I can start on the button band and the shawl collar. And then I still have, because it's the 28th, so I have 8, 9, 30th, 31st, 3 more days. I did my best. That's okay. So it's quite bulky though, so I can't really take it into work, although I probably will be for the next 3 days. But what I've been knitting in work has been my Christmas socks. So this is my Country Christmas colorway, which was in the shop before Christmas. It's kind of this it's a red and green, kind of muted with, stop saying kind of, with some kind of goldy pops. There it is again, kind of goldy pops for the fire at Christmas. So I'm just doing straight afterthought heel socks. So I am just, this colorway actually micro stripes. Adorable. So I'm doing 2 at a time on here, and I'm just working away from the inside and the outside of the ball. And miraculously, there's no, I was actually really worried about the inside and the outside not matching. You know, sometimes indie dyed yarn can fade in the middle or on one side of the skein. One end of the skein is lighter than the other, less saturated than the other, but look, like I planned it. So now there we go. So I'm gonna keep going on those until I get bored, and I'll just make a toe, and then I'll make a heel. I still haven't cut in the heel on the other afterthought toe to toe socks that I did before Christmas. Oops. Oh well. And I have it in Mina Makes bag. Oh, this is Mina's podcast now. This is my favorite little sock bag. So cute. So cute. So I'm just gonna throw that on the ground. Great. So the next thing I started is in my Outlander bag by Longview Creations. She gave this to me as part of my Outlander Cal prize. Thank you. Prize giveaway. So this is going to be a sample for my shop for Woolen, which is going to take place in May, and I'm so excited about going. And these are the yarns that I'm going to be making it out of. This is my cotton socks in the Sydney Spring colorway, and this is my merino sock 75-25 in August Sunset. And I'm using some beautiful stitch markers that were sent to me from a wonderful friend. They're just like perfect colors. I have to rip this out because I actually started with the second color. So what am I making? I am making the Ashling pattern by a designer who's going to be at Woolen. This is Justyna Lorkowska, and Ashling is a beautiful shawl with the main color, and then there's stripes of the second color, and then the I think I'm going to do the dark purple in the lace and the variegated in the eyelet sections, the stockinette eyelet sections. Yes, so 2 skeins, one of each color, in a 70%. Well, she had 70% wool and 30% silk. So, a bit like sock weight yarn is fine, I'd say. And yes. So I'm so excited. I really love this pattern. I saw this design when I went up to This Is Knit in Dublin, and I saw that they had made it, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I'd love to meet Justyna with this made. And so I have May. I have a couple of months to do it. Maybe, baby. So that's what I have been embryonically making. It's in its embryo stage. I just need to redo it, redo the start. Everything I start, I have to start again because I make mistakes. Like fundamental starting mistakes. Anything past like 5 rows, I'm like, okay, it's fine, carry on. But fundamental starting row mistakes, yeah, it's not a big deal. Rip it out, start again. So that's so pretty. I'm in a purpley mood, aren't I? Pinky purpley mood. Which is odd because I'm normally green and blue. Oh, what am I wearing? This is my featherweight cardigan. I made this for EYF last year. So the mix and match cardi is going to be my EYF this year. Although I might also do a t-shirt because it's super hot inside there. So something light is perfect for EYF if you're thinking of making anything. I was looking at the Tegna team and I just don't think so. I have lots of yarn for the Pearl Soho notched hem tee, which is just beautiful. So I think I'm going to make that. That'll be nice. So what else have I been making? So I've been going to a sewing class, and the first thing I've made is finished. It's a little project bag, and it's so cute. It's just a flat one, so it doesn't have the boxed bottom, but it is lined. There's no interfacing or anything in it, but I'm really happy with it. Like, I'm just delighted. I'm learning so much in the sewing class. I didn't know my machine could do all those things. I actually didn't know why my machine needed all those things to be done, but so I actually know that a box bottom, you literally just cut that and just sew across, and that's a box bottom. So I can do that too. I don't know if I'll be making project bags. I don't know if I might try to make something out of my hand woven project bag, hand woven fabric. Maybe, I don't know if I'm good enough or if I feel, you know, maybe. Never say never, hey? Never say never. So I'm just gonna have Beans up here saying hello. This is Beans for anyone who's wondering what the crinklies are. Beans. He's in a mood at the moment. He wants to find everything. He doesn't want to sleep yet. But normally he kind of settles down after a little run around, so. Go run around, Beans. Go on. No? Oh, he's still scratchy. So that's fine. He's a kitty. Scratch. That was I asked for that. I was trying to stop him from sticking his face into boiling soup. So obviously that was my fault. So I just wanted to talk a bit about, where's my notes? Oh, they're there. So, oh yes, I received something in the post. So this is to do with my weaving. Now I have one of these pieces. This is my houndstooth Dalton border Leicester scarf. So I haven't finished the edges. I have hem stitched, but I haven't done any twisting of the edges. So I was having trouble with it, and I posted on a rigid head loomer, a weaving kind of a board on Ravelry, and I contacted. But what am I trying to say? I wanted a fringe twister. This is a fringe twister. It's like the cutest thing. So instead of me going like, so let me just try and see if I can. So what you do is you do the thing. How many's? I'm gonna go with 2 and then another 2. And then you grab it here and you go like this. Oh. And you go like this. And you twist 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 and you twist. This is actually the first time of me using it, so you call yourself privileged. And it kind of twists back on itself. You see the way it's kind of doing that? And then I'm gonna just tie it here in a knot, and then it should just kind of roll back on itself. Now, and you get a little twisty twist, and it's way easier on your hands. So this is a little fringe twister. I was looking at a few of them on Etsy for like $10 or so, but the shipping was like 18, and then with the charge and everything on top of it. So I bought it off this woman on Ravelry instead, because she never used it. She used it once, I think. So this is the Leclerc fringe twister in the same box and everything. So perfect. Let's just reuse what other people don't need anymore. That sounds good to me. So that's what I was doing with that. So I'm gonna just finish off the rest of that today, and it'll look nice and neat and tidy. Okay, so I've not been weaving because there's something on my loom which I physically detest. Physically, because every time I look at it, I get a little bit like viscerally angry. This thing is so annoying. So this yarn was given to me by someone who didn't want it anymore, or you know, they were just kind of like, I got some yarn, I'll never use it, you can have it if you like. It's lovely. It's not lovely. It's not. And I just want to take this moment in my podcast to state that we are under no obligation to become yarn graveyards. Just say no to stuff that people don't want. They do not need to clutter up our stash. They do not need to be there. No, I am not a yarn graveyard. I am saying no. I tried, but this is a houndstooth design as well, but physically makes me sick to look at it. So let's destroy it. Yay! Get off my loom! Yes, oh, satisfying. Very satisfying. Now, that's better. Get off. Where's the scissors? Get off, get off, get off, get off of my loom. I was just paralyzed by this thing. I couldn't do anything because I kept looking at going, oh, I should do something. I'll probably make it into like a placemat or something, but it's horrible. Oh, all the little plasticky bits are coming off. Yuck. Yucky. And you can't even burn it because it'll just melt because it's just gross. Like, even to touch it. There are some acrylics which are gorgeous. This is not one of those. This is just not. Die. Die. No. So, that's a little placemat or something to destroy. Perfect. Happy days. I'll get the rest of it off later. That was cathartic. Thanks for joining me in that moment of madness. Oh gosh, it's all gonna fall apart now because it's all loose. Yeah, there we go. So I haven't even like worked my other loom, which I want to do today, but I also need to finish the knit, so. Yeah, so that's that. That's a lot of things that I'm doing. Oh, what else did I do this week? This week I have ordered some enamel pins. So I printed off my logo and I went over it with a big marker and I was like trying to make it all detailed and stuff. And then I went online and I was fiddling around and foostering around and I finally sent away the final design. So it's this design with a circle around it and it's going to be available sometime late March. I'm hoping I sent an email asking if it could come at the start of March, maybe just bring it forward a few days or maybe a week or two just so I can bring it to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, but I just don't know if it's going to be possible. I'm sad that it won't be available for Edinburgh Yarn Festival, but I left it too late to organise it. So, but enamel pins, they're coming! Yay! Babbles Yarns enamel pins! I was really proud of myself for doing that. This is the marker at the back. Actually, that's really nice as well, isn't it? Save that. Fabulous. I'm saving too many things. I should really throw out a lot of stuff. But everything could be pretty. Everything has potential. I think that's why I love making so much. It's just all the potential. Even if it doesn't turn out right, it's okay. It's the idea that it had potential at one stage. So I'm going to talk a bit about two events that are happening now. So there is something coming up this Saturday. I can't go because it's my aunt's wedding, but it is the Coast Geopark are hosting a skills share day. So I think it's it costs a bit of money to go in. It's a full day, but all the classes are only 5 people and you get 5 different classes doing 5 different things. One of them is hand spinning with my friend Liz. There's a nail binding course, which is how they when they use large tapestry needles to make a fabric. And I think it actually predated knitting, so it's really, really fascinating. It's properly medieval style. I think she's actually from a medieval group called Lynn. This is all taking place in Waterford, and I have posted the Facebook event down below. So have a little look. It's really fascinating. They're also making some bridges crosses. They're also doing hand embroidery or hand needlework, I think, and then there's also something else I can't remember, but have a little look down the bottom. And if you're in Waterford or anywhere around there, have a little look and see if you're available this weekend, if you're caught out for something, because it's going to be super fun. And my friend Liz is going to be there, and she is the most amazing spinner. If you ever wanted to learn drop spindling, or you even just have a go, pop down and see, because she's going to be there, you guys. And I think it is kid friendly and everything, so you can bring the family, but they have to obviously be accompanied by a parent. And it is restricted, you know, so there won't be huge classes, so you'll really get one-to-one time with the teachers, which is so cool. So I'm really jealous. I really wanted to go, but I couldn't. So one of you guys, or two of you guys, or 25 of you guys could go. Guys or girls, whatever. So that's really exciting. Also, Atlantic Knitscape has opened up for booking again. There's 2 events in May. I'm going to the May the 11th one, and there's also the May the 18th. May the 18th would be really cool actually, because you could come and stay for that weekend, stay for the week, and then go to Woollen the week after, or maybe 2 weeks. I think it's 18th. 19th, 20th. Yeah, no, it's the next week. So make a weekend of it. Make a 2-weekender holiday of it. Come over and see us. Yay! How exciting. Yeah, so Catherine has just opened up the bookings for it again. You can email her directly, or go find her on the Facebook page or on Instagram as Atlantic Knitscape. And yeah, I can't wait to go back up and get in that sea, Catherine. It's gonna be so much fun. Huzzah! So I've also got my retreat coming up, but it is booked out. I will be sending out some emails to the people who are going. The hotel has actually requested that we start paying upfront actually instead of at the end. So I will be sending out emails to you all to get that upfront payment before the start of March. I'll be doing that. Also, if you're interested in any future meetups, pop over to my website, which is linked down below, www.babblestravelingyarns.com, and sign up to the email list so you can be first to find out about the next retreats. Okay. Now, what else was I going to talk about? The book review. Yay! So I've taken some notes. I'm obsessed with this book. Now, full disclosure, this book was sent over to me. I was contacted by Alanna Wilcox, who's the book author, and it's called A New Spin on Colour. She's Spinny Buns on Instagram, and she's amazing and fabulous. She asked me if I would be willing to do a review of the book in exchange for getting the book. So I got a digital download, and I was reading it over the past couple of weeks. Here are my thoughts. My pen just fell out of my book. Now, so it is a fantastic book. So it's split into different sections. It takes you through color theory, prep. So actually how the the differences between cone top and carded preparations. It takes you through kind of. It's basically for people who buy the beautiful braids of yarn on Etsy or in store, the beautiful colorful braids of yarn, but they don't really know how to create the yarn that they want. Braids of fiber. So they want to create if they're not sure what type of yarn they're going to get out of it. This book takes you through all the different ways that you could spin this yarn. There are many varied ways to do it. So she talks you through what type of yarn you want to get, the different types of mixes, blends you can do, and also if you're interested in dyeing dyeing the fiber yourself, how to do it in a way that will suit your project. So a way that will suit a jumper, say, or a cardigan or a garment. So you want the front and the back to have the same kind of stripes as the sleeves or something like that. You know, she shows you how to do all of that. She also shows you how to dye the braid, dye the top for a shawl if you want to do a shawl project, because the different sections would need to be different colors. You know what I mean? would need to have different amounts of colours. So the end of the shawl would need a lot more colour than the start of it if you wanted to do stripes. It's fascinating. It's a really well written book. The pictures are beautiful. The visuals explain really clearly what's going on. Gorgeous. I'm going to put in a little slideshow of some of the images, probably about here, so you can get the feel of the book, and then I'll go through the sections. So the first section is color theory. So it's all about mixing your colors, how to kind of combine your colors to get the color that you want. Just the idea of color theory, you know, the color wheel and all that sort of jazz, but specifically with relation to the braid, the dyed fiber. Super useful. Also, yeah, so the prep and the mechanics of spinning. It teaches you, she actually goes through basic spinning on how to spin and how to do it, and then plying, and takes you through all of that. That's a whole chapter as well. So it's really good for beginner spinners, to be honest. It is really, really good just to kind of get your whole head around the idea of spinning and why we spin. We spin to make our own yarn, the yarn that we want. This book will tell you how to do that. So there's different sections then if getting solid crisp colors. So it takes you through chain plying, singles, working with singles. It takes you through you know, those, there's a couple more that I can't think of right now because it's actually on my phone, but I took notes, but not very good notes, so you know. Then she talks about heathered and barber poled yarn. So it takes you through fractal yarn, how to get all those images by stripping down the, getting all those types of yarn by stripping down the braid, and the different ways you can kind of flip the braid if you want to get like barber poling everywhere, you know, that sort of stuff. It's just really, really well, the diagrams are perfect. Like immediately you understand. Like it has totally cleared up a lot of the questions I had about trying to get beautiful yarn that I see on Instagram all the time, you know. There's also the blended version. So she talks about like how to blend in the colors, how to do kind of lots of different colors all at once if you want a solid color out of loads of different colors, how to do that, and there's various different ways of doing it. I'm currently obsessed with cabled yarn. I really want to make a cable yarn after seeing this because it makes so much sense. I instantly understood the second she showed it. I was like, I love it. It just shows you with so many things. Then there are appendices. She shows you how to make a little crochet chain out of a strip of yarn. She recommends doing that just to kind of remember what the braid actually looks like. Genius, I never thought of that. She shows you how to make solid joins when you're spinning. So if you want to join the next color, which is really nice. I really like the way she does that. She shows you how to make a lazy Kate if you don't have one. And she shows you how to finish your yarn, which is very essential, very important. So there's so much information in this book, and it's so well laid out, and it's beautiful. The pictures, you've seen them, they're gorgeous. There isn't any actual like physical patterns, written patterns. That's the only thing. I quite like that because oftentimes I have a lot of books on other things, on spinning, on dyeing, on all those kind of things, and they have patterns in there, but I've not used them, so. You know what I mean? That's the only downside. There's not patterns, but she shows you how to spin 4 patterns, if you know what I mean. So she shows you like the shawl shapes, and she shows you the garments, how to do the sleeves and how to do that sort of thing. So, and she shows you different ways of doing like how yarn works out, if you've spun it a certain way, how it would work out in entrelac, and you know, so she doesn't exactly need patterns because we all have patterns, millions of them, you know. So I really think this is really, really worthwhile, this book. It's fantastic. And that's my review. Thank you so much, Alanna, for sending it to me. I really, really enjoyed reading the book, and I hope everybody else has a little look at it. And it does come in print, and it does come digitally, and it does come in print as a physical book as well. I got the digital one because it's quicker to send to me, and as well, I really like digital books. I like them. They don't clutter. I love physical books as well, but digital books are handy if you just have them on your phone, if you're just like, aka no signal and nothing else to read, you're like, I'm gonna read that book. I enjoy it. I enjoy it immensely. So that was that book, which is amazing. Have I said it enough? I don't know. Oh my gosh, have I talked about everything? I think I have. Oh my goodness. We've covered loads in 41 minutes. Was I speaking too fast? Oh well. No, there's one more thing. There's always one more thing. So, in my Ask Me Anything thread over on Ravelry, I got a question asking, what wheel would you recommend for an absolute beginner? And I was chatting with my friend Liz last night, and asking her the question, and I was giving her my kind of ideas, asking her if I was down the right road, and she said yeah. So I'm like, hey, another person agrees with me. This is of course only my opinion as to what wheels I've experienced and in teaching people and in dealing with Liz, who actually deals a lot with setting up other people with their wheels. She's like the wheel whisperer. So what I would recommend, so Michelle, I believe it was you that, yeah, it was yourself, wasn't it, Michelle? Yeah. So you're in Canada, you're based in Canada. So there are loads of secondhand wheels floating around in Canada and the States, a lot more than in Ireland. I mean, I don't know how Liz finds them, but Liz always finds the wheels, and then she has them, and then she passes them on to people who want them because she already has like 15 wheels. No, it's only 11 at the moment. So what I would recommend is to start out. They are quite an investment, but there is one wheel which I always recommend to people who don't want to make a huge investment all at once. And this is the, get it right now, the Woolmaker's Bliss. This is a wheel that is made by the Louet company in, I think it's the Netherlands. And they have a beautiful wheel. It comes with a single or a double treadle. I like double treadle myself because I find it's nice. I like the kind of symmetry moment, and I find that it's easier. It's actually easier to spin on a double treadle because you don't have to wait for the catch point for it to come down to treadle again. So treadles are the foot plates, and if you have one treadle, it's connected at the back to the footman, who comes up and connects to the wheel. So it's connected to a little thing. So when it goes down, it pulls it down, and then you've got to wait for it to come back up before you push the wheel again and it comes down. So if you've got one treadle, you've got to wait for that to come back up, and it's going to be a little bit slow. So it takes a while to get your balance on this. You know, you get the feel of when you need to press. And because sometimes people, when they press, it's going down, but then they press too soon, it'll actually go back and untwist. So I prefer a double treadle. It's the only wheel I've actually ever had. I have a Ashford Traveller double treadle, and it's just easier because you've got two going. So one will put it up, one will push it back, but you know, it's just there. It's a lot easier to get used to the catch point of when the wheel needs to go that way. Just my own personal preference. So the Bliss Woolmakers is a white plywood wheel. It is very reasonably priced. I think for a double treadle with 5 bobbins, it's something in the rounds of 350 euros. That includes worldwide shipping. I mean, for that's a new wheel, brand new wheel, €350. You're not going to get it anywhere else, I think. So to buy a new wheel from Ashford, who's another person I would recommend, actually, another brand I would recommend. That's only because I have only really worked with Ashfords. A new Ashford wheel would set you back about €1,000, 700 to €1,000, depending on what you want. Sometimes you get lazy Kates and stuff with it and everything like that. So if you wanted a new wheel, go with the Bliss. If you're looking at secondhand wheels, there are a lot of Ashfords out there because they are a big company and you can get parts really easily for them if the Ashford is broken. They're all kind of standard, they're solid machine, they work. They're simple, they work. I think Liz generally can get them between 100 and 200 euros, and that's really good for a secondhand wheel that needs a little bit of extra effort. You know, there are some maintenance tools that you can get from Ashford, with like new hooks and oil and different drive bands and stuff if you need to replace them. It's really easy to get replacement parts. So I recommend Ashford for that. The Ashford Traditional or the Ashford, I really want an Ashford Joy because it folds up. That's so nice. But that's a little bit more expensive and really hard to come by because when people have them, they keep them. So an Ashford Traditional is a really good one to start on. It's widely available. Ashford Traveller is lovely. The difference is that it's, so the Traditional is a traditional kind of wheel. So it has a big wheel over here that drives a smaller thing down here, and you kind of work from the side and you've got your pedal underneath. So my one is a Traveller. It's a castle style, which means that it's kind of one on top of the other. So the wheel is down the bottom and the thing where all the spinning is happening, the bobbin and the flyer and the mother of all and all of that jazz, all the stuff that you're working on is kind of up on top of it. So it's a castle style wheel, and it's just a different type. So the Traveller, the whole thing about the Traveller is that top part actually is hinged and it folds down. I think the Traveller also is a double drive, which means that which has the option to be a double drive or a single drive Scotch tension. So Scotch tension means that you've got a little bit of string or kind of plastic wire going, like plastic wire, it's not wire, plastic string, I don't know, going over the bobbin, which slows it down. That's your tension. It creates a bit of tension. And then double drive is when you have two pieces of the drive band going around, and one part goes around the flyer and one part goes around the bobbin. So you have two strings on the wheel. That's double drive. And then single drive or Scotch tension is when you have a piece of just attached, just like a little piece of plastic, a little string of plastic string. Oh, that's not the right word. Anyway, it's attached to the bobbin itself. So, yeah, sometimes they have little springs on it, but actually like a cotton string will do the same job because you're just slowing down the bobbin in relation to the flyer a little bit with the Scotch tension or the single drive. So that is my wheel, which I got from somebody gave it to me. So keep an eye out on the local Ravelry boards, on the D-stash pages, on your local guild. They might have people who are selling their wheels, and see if they have anything that is available, that is working. Because to be honest, if you see any wheel, you can learn on it. But they're just a couple of the recommendations that I would recommend. If you want a new wheel and you don't really trust that you can fix an old wheel that's like broken, or you know, there might be some issues with it, like it's not spinning or anything like that, I would go for the Woolmaker's Bliss, which remember that includes postage. So And then if you want to go for a secondhand, I would go for an Ashford, just because they're the ones that I know, and I know that you can really easily get stuff fixed. There are lots of other brands over in the States that you can get, but I don't know them, so I can't recommend them because I don't know them. So yeah, I hope that was useful, and thank you so much for asking that question. That was really interesting to think about and work through in my own brain what I would recommend. If anyone else has any other questions for me about anything I talk about, or me and myself and my life and whatever, within reason, I'll try and answer. So pop over to the Ask Me Anything thread and feel free. So thank you so much for watching today. I can't think of anything else right now that I need to talk about, but there's always next week. So I will see you next week. Oh, there's also a spinning day in Glore next Saturday, which I'm going up to just for the middle of the day, and then I'm popping back down to my aunt's wedding. So if anyone is coming to Glore, say hi. That's in Ennis, Glore Arts Centre in Ennis. The information is on the Glore website. And you don't have to have a spinning wheel, you can just come along and learn. We've had 2 girls who came and bought as one of the wool makers bliss actually in the last couple of months, and they really enjoyed it. So yay, come along and say hi, okay? We'll see you there. Bye.